London Marathon 2026 took place over the weekend. It was a really special day, really good atmosphere, really good energy. The weather was great. I think that helped. It was just amazing to see everyone out kind of like in full show to support, and obviously props to everyone who competed, and very proud of my friends and family that did as well. So well done to you guys. But last year I shot this event. It was really fun, just to kind of casually go about and just see everything that was happening aside from the race as well. Just all the other bits unfolding on the sidelines, the sort of like the family elements, the different emotions, and I just really enjoyed shooting it. And I think as well, just when it comes to like documenting these kind of like sports or like these kind of like events and stuff like that, which feel, I say, somewhat historical, it's just, I don't know, it's just like good to be out and capture it. I don't think I have to try too hard to get these big like kind of takeaway hero shots. I think it's just nice to just go around and shoot and have fun, really, and just capture these little moments in between that are probably, often like overlooked and stuff. But I think it's just special, and that kind of makes the race day what it is, really. As usual, I had a pretty simple setup. I just had the one lens, so I went with a 35mm for the day. It's just a nice focal length to kind of capture more of the scene, but then you're still not too wide that you miss like any kind of like intimate details and things like that you might want to draw a little bit more attention to. I think there's something about days like this that I just really enjoy as a photographer, where there's just so much going on, and just being like in the middle of everything with a camera, and just I think it's kind of like an environment where people know there's cameras around as well, and they like know how much like media presence there is. So I think because of that, if you're someone with a camera, like it's much easier to get closer to people, to kind of be like in the thick of it. No one feels uncomfortable because there's this, expectation that cameras are just going to be around and everything in that day is going to be documented. And I think obviously as a photographer, that's just nice. I think it just gives you a little bit more reassurance and a little bit more kind of like confidence almost, that you can kind of go into like different places, like in between different groups. And no one's going to be funny about the fact that you have a camera. There might be a little look or a side eye every now and then, but I think it's fine. And I think, just my experience from shooting like events like this or parades or like whatever it might be, I just think there's that extra something about that just allows you to sometimes come away with shots that you might not have got, or at least have shot them from an angle that I think would have been more difficult in other scenarios. So that's always good. That's always a plus about doing events like this. In terms of like my approach for the day, I actually arrived quite early. Last year I didn't get there early enough and I missed the elite group. And whilst I think by that time the crowds are definitely thinner at that point, I think as like people's families start to arrive, people get like set up in their like stations for the day. I was aiming to capture that, but I think still last year I kind of came away thinking it would have been really good to like see these runners in person, especially knowing how impressive they are. So I got to like Blackfriars Bridge like really early and saw the first wave of the elite runners coming through, both men's and women's, and just really incredible to see how effortless they just glide. And it's a joke, because knowing that at that stage, like I'm so near to the end of the race, like obviously a few miles is still, that's a fair distance still, but in the grand scheme of things, they're on the last stretch really, and they just look so effortless. So just crazy to like witness in person, and it's like over in a second or two as they've just flown past. But still, I was able to get a couple shots from where I was. Understandably, they were running in the shade. I mean, I can't fault them, obviously. They are running a marathon, and that, posing for photos is not the first thing on their mind, but I think I was waiting for them to enter this patch of sun, and then a lot of them just obviously stayed in the shade, understandably. So that's how it is. Sometimes it goes like that, and you kind of miss moments or have to adjust. So I shot a few images more like in the shade, but hey, it's just one of those ones that like you kind of saw it, and that's it really. Just happy to sort of see it and capture it. Typically when I have days like this where I spend the whole day shooting, I normally find that I will stack up a huge volume of photos, a lot of them being throwaways. Obviously, when there's things happening at quite a high pace, you miss things. You need to make sure sometimes that you cover the frame between, what you were aiming to shoot. And this day was no exception. I came away with a huge kind of amount of photos, but one thing I did slightly differently in terms of when it comes to shooting and editing, I shot everything JPEG today, which is just a small thing that I don't normally do. And I think I'm just so happy with the way that a lot of the JPEGs come out of the M10 just immediately that, yeah, I'm pretty happy just to do some basic adjustments on some of them, or maybe just like a quick preset or something like that, just to like achieve the look that I want and then move on really. So, I think when it comes to going through and sorting, I shot these on the weekend, it's now Monday Eve, and I've kind of like filtered through everything that I want. I'm not trying to have these photos as like, hero portfolio shots. This is just about like, documenting the day and just having those moments captured really, nothing too precise about it. And I think that's, again, something for me after a long day. It's just nice to be able to go through, look back and kind of have more immediate results rather than having this long, arduous process of maybe doing a lot more editing and like fine adjustments. Like I'm happy for them to be a bit imperfect and just, get them out there really, and obviously put them in this video with quite little effort, I think. So that's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I certainly enjoyed the day. As I said, like I love events like this and just being like amongst everything, and also just seeing London like with all this energy and all the kind of good vibes and everyone out just having a good time. Like I really love that. And once again, well done to everyone who was in the race and ran, completed, whatever it might be, just well done. And I will see you in the next one.